quick anecdote, and I will refer you to an article I wrote about this story that goes into more detail. I just posted that in the chat just now. One of my favorite snapshots from that time was having the chance to play on the streets in Cape Town, South Africa, with Marius, and I had my saxophone and soprano saxophone, and we would just go jam for change on the street corners in downtown Cape Town. Marius had no money. He had one pair of clothes and a backpack, and in that backpack he had a bunch of undeveloped film that he had salvaged after being attacked in the Congo forest on the way back from the city. He and his uncle, and videotape. And the reason he had that was because he was on a mission to find the roots of the blues. And having grown up in Gona, in the interior, he was interacting with the local groups of Obongo, Pygmies, Forest people. And here's this unique hybrid cultural influence that I haven't heard anywhere else. Comes out even in this version of his music. But back in Cape Town, just having that raw, incredible passion come through in the way that he played was really inspiring. So we would just go out and put a hat out and try to raise some money, and we set Billy up with I called him Billy back then, Steve came, and set him up with an apartment near to where my fiance and I were living, and we were able to play music and collaborate. As a result of that friendship that developed, we launched a nonprofit together called Afrique Profonde, which means Deep Africa. And Marius had this incredible vision to help people. And he had made a promise to one of the elders of this group, a fellow named who passed away several years ago. But Marius' life mission is something else. He's been carrying his torch to essentially bring social justice and awareness and dignity to a group of people that have been in a situation of indentured servitude for many years. So I think it's important to know that's at the heart of this man's journey, and I've known him for 20 years, and he's never given up. That's where it all started. So we launched a nonprofit for internet cafes in 2001, Cape Town, dial-up back then. Zoom was way in the future, video chats, and all that. Just created a pilot project that brought a writer from the former East Germany to the Congo. He wrote a book about his experience traveling around with Marius. And that project enabled us to apply for a grant from UNESCO that got Marius to Scandinavia, where he was able to get some help and get refugee status in Stockholm. So that little snapshots of the story that lasted 20 years, but it's always been an inspiration to me to see what human beings are capable of, and Marius is just the best of us.
Great. So thank you so much, Justin, for sharing that with everyone. Another big part of this release was Marius collaborating with Smooth Jazz Global. So Sandy Shore, if you would like to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, smoothjazz.com received an MP3 file from Marius, who reached out and wanted us to have a listen to his music, and I do my best to listen to everything that comes across my desk. It takes a little while, but I try to get to everything, and I was really taken by the soulfulness of Marius's voice, and a real sense of authenticity and sincereness, and he just struck me as a true artist, and I was very moved by his music. And sometimes music is, in my opinion, sometimes music is technically flawless and wonderful to people who like music, but what Marius had was deeper than that. It was just a real tapped in soulfulness that, a profound feeling when you listen to his music.
This meeting is being recorded.
And I thought there was one person in particular that I wanted to reach out to connect to his music, and that was Paul Brown. And because Paul has always taken on songs and artists that may or may not fit into our smooth jazz, bubble. He seems to see things the way I do, that, sometimes we can go to the outside of the box a bit and pull it inside, and the listeners love it. The listeners are open. They're very open, especially on a global level, like we can reach with smoothjazz.com. And Paul took the first single and did some editing to it and made a few little revisions that would make it maybe a little bit more radio friendly in our world. And that started that relationship, which I'm sure Paul will talk about. But yeah, when I get excited about discovering artists, especially vocalists, I'm passionate about vocals, and I think of someone in my wheelhouse and in my world, like Paul, I'll reach out and we get very collaborative and we explore, and that's the fun of it for me as a DJ. Since I was 15 years old, I just loved music. I loved it. I didn't want to just play it on the radio. I wish I could be more of a part of it, and I wish I spoke the language musically, even more than I do. I can read music, but I have never really had the time to dig deep into it. So as a radio, personality and somebody who loves music, I can only go so far, and I reach out to my friends who can get deeper, like Paul and other producers. So it was a real honor to be able to connect Paul and Chris Davis to Marius, and that's where I get excited in this business, is finding talent and people like Marius Billgobenson, who has an open heart and an open spirit, and really fun and new ideas. We can all be inspired by new ideas. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. When you meet new people and new ideas come to the table, I'm sure Paul will tell you, it's what lights us up. It's exciting. It's something new. So Marius's spirit is so big and just crossed the divide and found me, and I was delighted to meet him. He is also, on a personal note, a very encouraging and kind soul, and just out of nowhere, I'll get little texts telling me to have a wonderful day, and things that will hit me at times. That I feel so lucky to know him, to feel that spirit connecting with me from across the world. It goes beyond business. It goes beyond music. So it's been a real pleasure for me to know Marius and to be part of this journey with him, and to be, just a little part of it. It's been a real blessing for me, and we're enjoying working with him so much on smoothjazz.com. He provides us lots of content, and we've been able to get his music to so many people who can play it on the radio, listen to it. We're helping with the Spotify listeners and all of that. So it's a real pleasure to be on Team Billgobenson. I've loved every minute of it. I look forward to having it last as long as possible.
Thank you, Sandy. And me and Ariel can agree with you on that. We are so grateful to have such a wonderful client like Marius. So the first song that we're going to listen to is Tears on the Ground. I'm just going to read a little description, and then if everyone can just mute so that when I play the song, nothing gets in the way of that, that'd be great. This song celebrates the social advocates who have shaped, cared, and embraced our pleasant lives. It aims to invite your moment of taking a look around and appreciate the benefactors in our life, both seen and unseen, who have made us great kings like we are today. Featuring multi-instrumentalist Ruben Farias, I hope I didn't butcher that, Rickard Radmark produced the original song, and Alejandro Thomas and the winner genre hitmaker Paul Brown produced the remixed version.
read the rise and skip on here throughout my life. Thousand words won't be there to me. Through the struggles in life, we laugh and cry. Together we find tears on the ground, or remember. When everything in my life was going wrong, talking even with this life, my faith. I am mourning that shame my life. Until the day they come home, I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things I truly love. My tears are red. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things I truly love. My tears are red. Sometimes you can't explain the view of the people you love. Just the way they take you to a place no one can. I just ever taught you ways of life, the man you were king. Share life with others, no tears. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things I should love. My tears are red. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things I should love. My tears are red. Losing touch with all. I feel all the things I should love. My tears are red. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things that we love. My tears are red. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things that we love. My tears are red. I'm gonna sing your love again for the rest of my life. I feel all the things that we love. My tears are red. My tears are red. My tears are red.
Awesome. And to follow that up, we're going to have Jonathan Woodrum talk a little bit about the spirit love.
Okay, can you hear me all? Can everyone hear? Okay, so okay, very good. That was great. It was beautiful to hear that again. It's been a little while. So just as a little background, it was because of Sandy that I connected with Marius. I do write for them, and they needed a bio for the site, and and I do a lot of stuff like that. And sometimes I don't connect. So both the artists, I just kind of do it as a job, and then the thing is done. With Marius, there kind of was like a deeper thing from the get-go, and like Sandy said, he's very kind and open, and like you feel you're part of his family when you talk to him for 20 minutes, you just draws you in. And the music, What I think is so powerful about it, like she was saying, a lot of artists just kind of play, good music, and it's, you kind of get to know what they can do in their artistry and the way they write melodies and the way they do it, but they don't draw you into their whole life experience. You might know their influences based on what you hear. With him, it's like, it's storytelling, not just because of vocals, but just because this guy, draws you into this experience of growing up a certain way and, creating this through music. And so it's a universal thing, but it's also so personal to him. So, and what he did, then he had me write further things beyond the bio. He had me write liner notes, so that was like a real honor to do that. But I think because he's lived this pretty incredible life, I think that I think what I should do is just read what I wrote, the first paragraph of that, just to let you know what I felt about it. I think that's maybe the best way it's right in front of me. The Spirit Love, the hopeful title of Marius Billgobenson's adventurously grooving, lyrically heartfelt, provocative, globally conscious urban jazz meets real music album, a lot of adjectives, I'm good with that, embodies his life's work and mission as a concerned, compassionate musical citizen of the world with a long-standing commitment to bridge long-standing cultural divides. But he's not only, but he kind of uses songs to draw you into the experience of the pygmy, the little guy, the people that he grew up around. He's very connected to his culture. He's lived in Europe for a long time, and there's such a passion for that kind of stuff. So you asked him about that. We talked about it, and to me, the music is just autobiographical. It's not. It's music we can all connect with as a globally conscious thing, and which is what the world needs always. That kind of thing of music. But and for it to be on smoothjazz.com is important because there's so many artists that are new and also well known, where we kind of know what smooth jazz has, a certain sound and a vibe, and he just adds an extra little groove texture to it that's kind of unique and kind of, it's not just like the same kind of thing we can hear from other artists, and yet having Paul and Big Dog, he kind of bridges that gap into that, like Sandy said. So I think that's kind of what it is. But I really, the thing is, it's vulnerable and it just shares his heart, and it just comes through in the music. And a lot of people just create music that's excellent, in the genre, but don't share their autobiography. And of course, his is so interesting and exotic. I'm drawn to it. It was a real pleasure writing and doing it. And like Sandy said, he texts you kind words all the time, like just checking in and saying it, but he's just like this, he just oozes this, feels like a blessing every time you do, like he's anointing you with something, some special musical magic and personal magic. So that was my experience working with him.
Thank you for sharing, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into more about the global production process. So Karen Golston-Thompson is going to share a little bit about the story behind the song Joy. I pinned you to unmute you. There you go.
Hi. So excited to be here. It's such an honor. I'm Karen. Like you said, I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. And I wrote this song after I had our first child, my daughter, who's now a freshman in college. I was inspired to write it. Well, the funny thing, I have to say this, although I'm a trained musician, I never, ever in my life thought that I would write a song. That never occurred to me, not even for a second. But all of a sudden I felt inspired just one day after putting her down to sleep. I felt inspired to write a song and wrote a song entitled Joy. Didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I was feeling. And I was feeling very thankful to God. I was feeling thankful for life, for our family, for our daughter that we just had. And I was feeling grateful, that I had an opportunity to write a song. So I did. And it's so weird how all of this got to Marius. I've never been to Norway, didn't even really know where it was. And but it's amazing how everything came to play and how this all happened. But to make a long story short, I will say this: Paul Brown is amazing. My husband introduced me to him. He was a lifelong fan of him. And he said, oh, Paul's coming to Columbia, we're going. And we went, we had an opportunity to see him, we saw him in Atlanta, and we listened to him all the time. So we ended up building a relationship because my husband, if you meet him, you'll know he's a stranger to nobody, okay? And once he meets you, you're like lifelong friends. And so we met him at a concert one time. And one day he's coming downstairs, my husband. We met him at a concert and we just took to each other. And Rose stayed in contact with him. And one day he said, hey, Paul, I want you to listen to this song my wife wrote. And that was it. Paul liked it. I was so surprised. Like, really, you like it? And I was in the process of doing some recording vocally myself in Nashville. And then in 2014, I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And so they had to do a thyroidectomy and nick my vocal cord. So that kind of put the plans about doing the recording myself. So I'm so excited. So then comes, one day Paul hits me up, and he actually hit a throat. This is my husband, Ro, guys, for you. So he hits up Ro, and he says, hey, there's this artist, that's gonna record Joy or is interested in it or whatever. And that's how we got in contact with Marius. And was super excited. I was like, wow, this man from clear across the world likes this song. I can't believe it. So we're so honored. I echo everything that everybody said about Marius. He's just something very special, just a very special soul. He has a good heart. And the song, I wrote it because I want to share love. I want to bring healing and hope to the world. And so when I heard that Marius is out, that's what Marius wants to do. I was like, this is heaven sent right here. And so that's how Joy came about. I'm excited. I hope we can do some more stuff together. Paul, Marius in the future. And thank you guys for this opportunity. God bless you, Marius.
You have to have another child so you can write another song, I guess. Get to work, bro, get to work.
I've written about 8 now, and I've got like 2 copyright. I just got a lot of work to do. It's a challenge when you can't do the vocals yourself. That really puts a spin on things. But you can take the voice, but you can't take the music from me. So I'll just find another way. So Marius, Paul, thank you for being my voice.
You still sound good, by the way.
You're sweet.
But your vocal on the original demo was sublime.
Oh gosh, it was, you don't appreciate something until you can't do it anymore. And then you're like, oh man, I miss that. But you know what? I could ask for, better people to put my music out there, and I'm just honored and blessed. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. You did a wonderful job. It's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing. That was a beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
And now, Mr. Paul Brown, if you would like to talk a little bit about the production of Joy.
Yeah, well, aside from Joy, I kind of agree with everybody about his personality is one thing that just struck me from the beginning, because I hear a lot of music and I hear, a tremendous amount of songs being presented and artists being presented. And the one thing I try to do as a producer is find that distinct sound in whether it's a saxophonist or guitarist or a vocalist. And it's hard with vocalists sometimes because they sound like they sound like Luther, or they sound like Rod Stewart, or they sound like somebody. And very rarely does a singer come along that sounds like themselves. And Marius' very unique sound. When I heard the Tears on the Ground, I was like, whoa! It took me back, just like Richie Havens or Paul Simon. But then he has all these jazzy qualities in his music as well. Really interesting chord changes and stuff that that I like. And he manages to put it all into a nice package. And it's very unique. And it was fun working on it, although it was very difficult recording vocals while he was in Sweden on Zoom. And it was just, the way they had it set up was really peculiar, but we got through it okay. But I'm hoping to have him come to LA and so we can work together in the studio. I think that would be amazing. But we got some good stuff happening there, and I've only met a few people in my life where you feel this warmth and magic coming at you. It sort of washes over you when you talk to them. It's pretty amazing, and it's a beautiful thing. And not many people are blessed with that, and that's a real talent unto itself. And so he's a very blessed man, and we're all blessed for knowing him. So I'm thrilled. I want to do more and more, and I want to do it with the same room if possible.
Yeah, that sounds so interesting. I can't imagine what it's like to record vocals over Zoom.
One comment I have about Zoom that I really don't like is it's mono. Like you just play that song, and Zoom for some reason broadcasts mono. I guess because it was meant for meetings and for audio, like one-on-one audio. But they need to update that so that when you have a stereo track, I don't know how you're plugged into your computer or whatever, going through Zoom, there's got to be a way to set it to stereo for audio. But at the moment, I don't think there is. But anyway.
Yeah, there's not right now, but I agree with you. There's a platform called Demio that you can host webinars on, and they let you kind of like upload a whole presentation to it rather than like sharing your screen or having things just play through your speakers. So whatever they have, Zoom needs it. Awesome. So I'm just going to share a little bit about Joy, and then we're going to listen to it. So if everyone could mute just right before we stream the song, so there's no echoing, that'd be perfect. Joy highlights grateful love that we express to God in our day-to-day life poetry. Written by songwriter Karen Golston Thompson, Joy has been produced by Grammy Award winner Paul Brown. The track uses feel-good vibes as Marius confesses that love from God is his one true joy. Blending soul, jazz, and gospel elements, the track is led by sultry saxophone, soulful guitar, buttery bass, and electric keys, whilst layers of vocals interweave in harmony for a sound reminiscent of Bill Withers, Al Jarreau, Marvin Gaye, featuring legend Gordon Campbell on drums, as well as phenomenal Ruben Farias on bass and guitars by Marius.
You are my joy, the one that I live for, the one that I adore. You are my peace when I'm feeling sad. You lift me up, you make me feel glad. You're my child, you're my child, you're my heart from your child. Joy, 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 my joy, it's so joy, my heart for your joy, 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 joy. Let at night, you hold me in your arms, you keep me safe and warm.
time he throws his throws. When the world gets crazy, you wonder to wipe away my tears, to chase away my fears. God say I'll never, ever, ever leave you. Hold on to his promises and don't let go. In the midst of sorrow, he will keep you. So no one else will do what I do for you. I'm joy in the midnight hour, joy. Hope for real joy, 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 joy. You're my joy, it's so much joy. Life for more joy, 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 joy. God say I'll never, ever, ever leave you. Hold on to his promises and don't let go. In the midst of sorrow, he will keep you. So no one else will do what I do for you. You are my joy. In the midnight hour, joy. Hope for more joy. Joy, joy, joy.
Yes, claps, claps.
What's funny is that, the production of that song, I mean, I sent him the song and he liked the lyric and he liked the chords and I think we changed the key, but anyway, he played it on a nylon string guitar with a bass player and he just played down the song in this feeling, right? And then sent me that. And that's the whole track's built around what he sent me, around that bass and that little guitar part, added the drums and the keyboards and the vocals and everything on top of that. So it was a little bit unusual way to go about it. But it has all those influences, Bill Withers and Grover and Earth, Wind and Fire. It's just so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Paul. Is Kevin Monroe here? I don't see you in the chat unless you have a different name right now. Okay, so instead of that, Marius, if you would like to do a little introduction for the Spirit Love before we listen to it.
Yeah, where is Marius?
I'm on here.
I can stop right here.
You?
There we go.
Can you see me? I'm here. Thank you so much.
There you go.
So when I have to turn my microphone on,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to share the Spirit Love with all of you.
Look at this camera. So they're gonna see
With all of you. Because actually the Spirit Love is the Spirit life of will. If I am living, thanks God that you exist, you guys. Because even though myself I will not be able from the Congo and to become a citizen, as as we go forward, to be doing things this way, it's also really a blessing. Because why Christ made the Spirit Lord? And I would like to invite you, if you are sitting by your dear, your man, your husband, your wife, your child, your daughter, give them a hug, because we are heroes of the world. We're heroes of the world because without the love that we give, we will not be able to exist. Even the love that you give to a dog, a cat, a bird, or things like that. This is great. So for myself, I will not take your time today for a long way. My only thing today to express is the gratitude and the love that you have offered to me all the time. Becoming someone in Sweden has not been a simple way. Just as fast as speed bump and anything. As we made in South Africa, in the streets of London, or playing guitars in the waterfront in Cape Town. This was not easy after the war in my home. And my ambition was to document the heritage that people are dying all the time, each day, we die.
Je ne vois aucune app intitulée ICH Go Télé. Si vous le souhaitez, je peux vous aider à faire une recherche sur l'App Store.
If I survived the war after lasting 8 months, nearly a year in the jungle, I connected to malaria. And malaria was called cerebral malaria. And I was dying. People were starting crying everywhere. So it was panic everywhere in the jungle. I would go and hear that Sandra, my daughter, was born in this condition in the jungle. And imagine yourself to get an angel in your family. You just get an angel in your family, but you are dying. So the emotion is really big. And thanks to the people who take my life back again and try to share with you guys today. So my life is not a life that we go through all the time, but we just meet each other. I like to meet and meet forever. I don't like to meet just for a job. We meet because we are part of the world, part of society, part of whatever what we are. So for me, whoever meeting someone today, there's a new way to meet other people, like on the internet or wherever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that I highlight is that I make program, I make science, I make all my have more great friends and great heart around the minds. For me, it's fun. So that's love that you share here. You see Justin Kirk, who saw my way and went to Cape Town to rent the room, especially for me. I thought that this is great. It's time to celebrate that. So many things, so many people, so many great people around that I've been traveling with on my mind. But my only problem is that I didn't make so many good hearts that today I even was not able to give a little response to these people. Some of them just went away. I didn't give them again. And then for me, celebrating this is like my tears run. Tears run because When you see you go for a walk, you walk through a park, and you come to see the very nice bench where you don't know who made this bench. The park is built gratefully. The bridge that we drive all the time in the streets. We drive all the time. We put the music on the couch. We do all these things. We don't know these people. Who are these people? So for myself, by coming to life and meeting you again, I will live again. Because it's the time for me to celebrate. And that's why I call the way to discover more and more love spread. So that's why tonight, no one knows, maybe tomorrow is my day, but better to celebrate the grateful things that I've been experiencing live. Today, done, never. And that's why I speak. When we fall in the storms, when we meet problems, when we go through storms and states that we can't recover ourselves, what do we do? The only thing that we do is take your moral again, stand and keep going, because the journey is so long. And through His word, I would like to say, to share all my gratitude to all of you guys. From far, from near, you are amazing, and you are my heroes. Not me, but you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marius. We all love and adore you, and there's something so special about the way that you see the world and the way that you spread love. I'm very grateful to be here and be part of this.
Thanks, Kayla. And Kayla has become my second daughter, actually. Through my journey. She is really powerful. Trying to pushing me out, trying to strengthen me with the cyber PR at the area. And you guys are amazing out there. And I'm so thankful and grateful for meeting you. Thank you.
We're very grateful for you too. If everyone could mute now, I'm going to play the spirit love.
Trees and magical black sky. People locking hands, lighting hearts on fire with love. I was wandering among the stars and the crowds, teaching us to move from hunger into spirit love. Precious spirit love, pour out your light into my heart. It's a kind of anxious feeling for tomorrow, and so much we live the dreams, holy and free. We are standing together, brings our souls to peace. Even can words seems to reach the spirit Lord. Precious spirit, Lord, go busy the streets in the road and I on my own. I know the Lord truly made my victory. In the road and I on my own, I know the Lord truly made my victory. In the road and I on my own, I know the Lord truly made my So, if Kayla, do you allow me again? I forgot to present that the song has been actually produced by Chris Victor Davis, and why Kevin Morrow, I'm so sorry because he's not around today, because Kevin is a very quiet director for this background, choir singing here. I wanted him to share what spirit, which spirit was tracking these vocals, but unfortunately he is not available today. And Big Dog is as well traveling. He was not able to be here today as a producer of this song. And and then I got a very amazing saxophonist that I really would like to keep working with. It's a Will Prince. It's a very nice fellow. Very good, powerful saxophonist actually, and I would like to send my gratitude to him as well. And I think that's it for that song. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Now, I have Seth Anderson and JP Gaston from the Biz Dojo podcast to talk about finding gratitude.
Hey everyone, thanks for having us today. My sound come through all right? I think it was double muted there. Awesome. I'm here with my partner in crime, JP Gaston, and we had Marius on our podcast earlier this year. And I feel like, even though I just met Marius a few months ago, I've known him my whole life. I met him through Justin. I've been working with Justin this year, and he mentioned one day that he had this friend in Sweden who was a jazz musician, and he wanted to introduce me and see if he'd be a fit on the podcast. And it's just been an inspiring journey ever since. And I know, Paul, you mentioned energy and warmness that Marius brings. I've met a lot of people in my life, but there's very few people that I've met or come across that had such a genuine love and care for others. And, as we've had a lot of guests on our podcast in the last year, and we try to create, I would say, a family type atmosphere and building a community of people, but of everyone. Marius I think you've liked every single post we've ever done. You shared all around the world. We've got, I think Sweden is our second most downloaded country outside of Canada. And we just really appreciate all your support over these last few months. So our podcast is really focused on inspiring people through conversation and stories of people who've been through and accomplished, amazing things. And when I look back at all the episodes, Marius' storytelling was on a whole other level. I literally felt like there were moments where I was in the Congo with him as he shared his story and how the forest people, basically saved his life and that whole experience. Like, I don't know, there's just so much to that, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us. And even though it was just like a sliver of what you've been through, it's changed my life and given me a new perspective. And I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from the entire experience is everything you've been through, all those challenges, and to come out the other side and be as loving and caring and positive and just want to put good into the world is one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. So I thank you for that, and I hope that I can spread as much love as you in the years ahead. And with that, I'll pass it over to JP, who also has some thoughts, and thanks for you, Marius.
Yeah, thanks, Seth. Marius has the opportunity through his music to reach people around the world, and they're lucky enough to hear him and to understand him through his music. But we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to really dive deeper and dive into Marius the human more than just hear his story through his music. And we've been podcasting for about a year now. We are just coming up on our 1 year anniversary, and before that I worked for over a decade in radio. And as a result, I've been conditioned to speak to fill space at all times. Any dead air is bad space. With Marius, we were left speechless so many times, but that space never felt uncomfortable. It never felt awkward. It was always just filled with this loving spirit. You felt like you were being embraced by Marius, even in the moments of silence. So it's not just through his music. It's not just through his story. Even just his presence or his thoughtfulness sneaking into your mind, which happens on a near daily basis ever since our podcast and our conversations with him. Marius is just an incredible person, and his music is an extension of that. And I really just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to Marius for joining us and sharing your story, or as Seth said, a small sliver of your story. It was incredible. We'll need to have you back to continue to share slivers until we get the whole thing. But it was great to meet you. Great to have the conversation. Have really been looking forward to this album. Getting little peeks of it here and there, and hearing it. It's just incredible work. So congratulations on the album, and I'm so excited for you to be able to share it with people.
Thank you, JP.
Just to call out, they posted the link to the episode on the podcast and on the chat for everybody to grab. So make sure you listen to it. It's pretty inspiring.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. And now I'm going to read a little bit about Alongside My Way, and then we're going to stream the song. So just a reminder to hit the mute button. Marius Billgobenson finds peace and love within nature and God's creation in Alongside My Way. Uplifting saxophone melodies weave between Marius's soulful vocals amongst playful horn stabs, jazzy guitar lines, lively drums, and choir-like BVs. Produced by Grammy nominee Chris Big Dog Davis, the track infuses soul, gospel, and jazz elements into a sound resonating with Gregory Porter and Al Jarreau. featuring genius saxophonist Marcia Biguet, phenomenal guitarist Jonathan Dubose, and rescue backing vocals by wonderful Don Tomlin.
Alongside my way, we are there to wander up and down. What I want to see around myself was so cold long. I always see flowers surrounded by green on me. I didn't know the sweet birds were singing. There is so long to me. I used to shine alone until I saw your moon approaching me. Something my time I felt that I didn't know how to live with. Love is all about what we give together, what souls around us. Oh, so times ago, we might be. Outside my way, you seem to find what yours in mine. Every time we play, I love you more than ever. I was stray, till I made you so to shine. Stay forever. When the circles so me, go be on a country land. As you walk the road to me, you'll never know when you need alone. Like a dog from a star, you ain't how you go from a same one. Shine a light on your face, you're the only one for me. Every time we met, I know we could have never before. I was so to shine. Stay forever. No more, no. Oh, no, so there's a golden time. I love you, love you, love you, love you. I was stay forever.
Such a beautiful track. The saxophone there is insane. It's so good. Now I'm going to read a little bit about Lutaya, and then we're going to listen to that as well. Featuring vocalist Janique Charles from the UK, but also multi-instrumentalist and arranger Ruben Farias on bass and many instruments, Marco Da Costa on drums, clarinet salsa on tenor, and perks by Christian Galante. The song has been produced by Richard Radmark and Alejandro Thomas from the Cara Studios, while Anthony Galatas from the Uptown Studios in London tracked some essential vocals. The song explores unconditional love we all experience from childhood. In his poem Liberty, Paul Eluard states the following: on the jungle and the desert, on the nest and on the brier, on the echo of my childhood I write your name, and for the want of a word I renew my life, for I was born to know you, to name you. On my school notebooks, on my desk and on the trees, on the sands of snow, I write your name. Such a fun track, such a fun track. And now Kelsey Skomberg is going to talk a bit about the global production.
Hello, thank you. I'm here from Washington State, and I edited the half-hour story track that was released alongside The Spirit Love. As a community-focused multimedia journalist, I've been honored to work with the Bering Strait and Interior Alaska communities, but this collaboration was the first time that I've worked with any recordings from the Congo. And for a bit of backstory, this spring, Marius approached me with an idea. He wanted to make an audio documentary that showcased the challenges facing the forest people of the Congo while highlighting his ongoing work to connect the outside world to these communities. You may know, in addition to being a skilled musician, Marius is also an accomplished ethnomusicologist. Years ago, he even gathered a group of forest people, also known as Pygmies, who are musicians. They formed a band and toured the larger cities of the Republic of the Congo with Marius. And when we started working together, Marius shared many of these recordings with me. He also sent me the essay that Justin Perkins shared a little bit earlier. If you haven't had a chance to read it, it covered 20 years of remarkable collaboration between two strangers far from home who met in South Africa and ultimately became close friends. With the help of Seth Anderson, who spoke a little earlier, we recorded a 2-hour conversation on this essay, or based on this essay. Seth and I listened to Justin and Marius as they recounted the separate journeys that led to their shared vision to build global awareness of the forest people's endangered cultural heritage. After recording, I cut that conversation to a 30-minute piece that covered how they met. Marius' story from the Congo to South Africa and Sweden, the work Marius has done with the forest people, and his lifelong insight that contextualizes the worldviews of the Babongo and Aka Pygmies. While the story is told through the lives of two men who care deeply about marginalized communities, we always wanted to center the forest people themselves. So, as we cut the story shorter and shorter from 30 minutes to 6 and finally a 1-minute video, we focused more and more on the core of this project, which is making a case for the self-determination of forest people and showcasing the deep ties between their cultural livelihood and the Congo River Basin. And it's been such an honor working with Marius on this project. He's so caring and understanding, and as many of you have mentioned before me, he really pushes to connect with you, not only as a collaborator, but as a friend. And the full 30-minute conversation between Justin and Marius will be available soon, but we can share that 1-minute preview with you now.
Let me just share my screen. Can everyone see the video? Great.
People used to say that this is not European music, this is a salvage music tradition. But actually, I'm writing my music with this background in my mind. For the Pygmy people, forest people, the environment is viewed like they're arid. So improvisation is a key word in their life here. Because they feel that each day they don't have a fridge to stock food. This is what I wanted to highlight here. That there is no salvage music. The only thing that missed for the Pygmy people actually is the way to link their voice to the outside world. Culture very rich and able to convince people around the world if they have an occasion to be promoted.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for that. And now, if Mike Combo and Estelle Ndinga would like to speak a little bit about the global production. Is Mike here?
We will need to have Chris.
Yeah.
Join Chris.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Do you want to talk a little bit about the global production?
Yes.
I'm speaking French.
Marius, do you want to translate?
I can translate for that. Joy, Chris, just go through what you want to say, and I will try to translate if I can. Joy, tu m'entends?
Oui,
Bon, vas-y.
je t'entends.
Vas-y, mon cher.
Ouais, c'est vrai qu'il y a un petit souci de réseau, bon, ça va aller. Alors, bonsoir à tous, on m'appelle Mike Combo. Je suis acteur et puis scénariste.
My name is Mike, and I'm a filmmaker from the Congo.
Et donc, je suis de nationalité congolaise. Et alors, premièrement, c'est un grand honneur d'être parmi vous ce soir.
First of
Via
all,
ce Zoom.
it's an honor to be among you tonight.
Mais aussi d'avoir été présent une fois de plus et à la fois bénéficiaire de ces chefs-d'œuvre.
And thanks for being here and participating or attending to this event.
Que nous a été gratifié par l'artiste Billgobenson.
Which has been actually provided by artist Marius Billgobenson.
Notamment gratifié aussi pour le clip du clip film du titre Let Me Know.
And then we was working on the video, actually music video for the title called Let Me Know.
Un titre qui relate une très belle histoire d'amour que nous, la team Congo, avons écrit et réalisé.
And which I highlight here, and love stories, and romantic or whatever.
Et je vais aussi signaler que je représente ce soir toute la team et puis les autres qui n'ont pas pu se présenter ce soir.
And I would like to say that I'm representing all the team of the crew from here, but some of my colleagues was not able to attend this event tonight.
Alors, ça a été une très belle expérience pour nous.
Which was a very nice experience to go through that.
Parce qu'à la base, on fait déjà du cinéma, mais après, on vient aussi découvrir une nouvelle musique qu'on ne connaissait forcément pas.
First of all, we are more based on cinematographic issues. Actually, we come across Marius Billgobenson to see some other music where he wanted to highlight love stories in the song.
Donc ça a vraiment été un plaisir pour nous de découvrir le smooth jazz, que certains parmi d'entre nous sont restés complètement amoureux de cette musique.
And actually, we came across to love the smooth jazz, actually, where some other more people in the Congo came to discover the smooth jazz and become a lover of smooth jazz.
Et donc la réalisation du clip et le scénario nous a pris à peu près 3 mois. Et c'était vraiment quelque chose d'important et puis de bénéfique.
The shooting process has lasted approximately 3 months, which was a very beneficial work and experience.
Et donc, croyez-moi que nos playlists musicaux se sont enrichis de plus belle.
Which means that, trust me, that our echo has went a little bit much more than we thought before, previously.
Et le Congolais n'en peut être que fier de cette étoile qui brille et rend honneur à l'Afrique, plus particulièrement au Congo à l'échelle internationale.
And the Congo is not indifferent with this process would like to recognize the work that our stars trying to achieve actually, and on the behalf of the Congo and all the international world.
Et donc, pour finir, au nom de toute l'équipe, nous félicitons l'artiste ainsi que toute l'équipe qui l'a accompagné autour de ce merveilleux chef-d'œuvre.
And on the behalf of all my crew, I would like to to say thank you to all of you who came on the participation of this process in this concept that has become something for us all.
Et donc, je sais que ce Zoom aussi est suivi par des Congolais ici. Et d'ailleurs, j'incite tous les Congolais à aller consommer cet album qui est franchement sans rien ajouter, en tout cas. Comme l'a dit quelqu'un ici, que c'est vraiment un tableau pictural dans lequel chaque morceau crée son univers, son propre univers. Une fois de plus, merci à tout le monde et bonsoir.
As one of the speakers has highlighted that this work has been a pictorial board where each song expresses particular sort of stories. And thanks again for all.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great job with the translating, Marius. Thank you for that. I am now going to read a little bit about Let Me Know, and then we will be watching the official video together. Featured by two other great artists, Timmy and Maya, backing vocals and tenor by Will Prince. The song was produced by Titan Chris Big Dog Davis. Let Me Know is a soulful blend of saxophone licks, tasteful guitar, and a laid-back surrounding raw and honest lyrics in Marius Billgobenson's latest offering, Let Me Know. Emotive and easy listening, the song explores the relatable highs and lows of love through mistakes, separation, and forgiveness, infusing contemporary jazz with R&B, soul, pop, and indigenous African vibes.
We share the story of ages. Has never been a crowded world. People have been reading and enjoying their love. All that cries from the sweat of the sorrow. I don't believe what you said to me. That you love me evermore. I don't believe what you written to me. You're my lover forevermore. Oh, but I know my darling. Sometimes we are going low. Let me know, my darling. How can we move on from you? But I know, my darling. Sometimes we are going low. Let me know, my darling. How can we move on from you? No one because we learn sometimes cannot help facing trials. These are we learn to overcome in life. Remember prize for hearts and children. I don't believe what you said to me. That you love me evermore. I don't believe what you wanted to me. My lover forever. Oh, I sometimes we are going alone. You let me know, my darling. How can we move on from here? Oh, my darling. Sometimes we are going alone. You let me know, my darling. How can we move on? He's not the only calling out my darling for love and praise. He knows the Lord is playing our heart tonight. He's not the only calling out my darling. Sometimes I can run away. You let me know my heart is here. How can
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company present. Sorry about that. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And now I believe it is time for Marius to perform a couple of songs.
Sorry, first of all, I would like to say, to share a greeting from the pig on the behalf of the Pygmy of Wakanda, using this bamboo flute that even Herbie Hancock has used for a song called Headhunter. And this flute is something that I'm carrying with myself for years, actually. I guess I would die with this flute. So let's listen to the message from the people from the camp. The second song I will be going through. As I said that I was celebrating the greatness. There's one song, one gospel song that has been something that regenerated my proud weather in the night time. And that song is amazing. I like it and I cannot leave it alone all the time. And I will go through a song which has origin from Sweden, a man called Carl Huber, which has traveled to the US, and the song has became widely known with a translation in English and widely shared. The song is called How Great Thou Art. I think I have a problem with my technical issue here. I don't have sound. Maybe change the guitar, but it's not so comfortable. I don't know. It's really going now. I think I would be better to sit, actually, because this guitar don't have something to write. Hello. Hi, ciao. God is good. So, I'm so sorry again because my pianist is trying to do the same role as a technical engineer here. And sorry for that. Oh Lord my God, when I am so wonder, consider all the world ahead of me. I see the stars are ever rolling thunder, the power throughout the universe display. And my soul, my Savior, come to me. How great I am, how great I am. This is my soul, my Savior, come to me. How great I am, how great I am. Make us a change, oh sublime mystère. Can't you see, bro? Avez pensé à moi que son cher fils est devenu mon frère et que je suis l'héritier du mon cœur est heureux, s'écrie à chaque instant. Oh Dieu d'amour, que tu es grand. elle s'écrie à chaque instant. Oh Dieu d'amour, que tu es grand. Mon cœur heureux s'écrie à chaque instant. Oh Dieu d'amour, que tu es grand. Oh Dieu d'amour, ce mystère qu'un Dieu si grand puis aussi à moi, que son cher fils est devenu mon frère, qu'un musique puis aussi à moi. Mon cœur s'écrie la nuit le jour. Oh Dieu l'amour, que tu es grand. Mon cœur s'écrie à chaque instant. Oh Dieu d'amour, que tu es Thank you. And actually, I will share another blues song as I met Justin in Cape Town on the Golden Park. I was starting to write down this song that I call today "The Sum of My Pardon," and it's a kind of blues that I just mixed with some folk music by the end of the song. I will try with my pianist here. He didn't play this song before, but we'll try. Remember that it has been not easy to gather all my musicians around because of the pandemic, and it was no time maybe for a real show, but I promise you the real show will be to come. But now we try "Some of My Pardon." Sorry. Crée-toi ton âme et fabrique-toi ton cœur. Crée-toi ton monde à l'univers du Katanga. Fais briller ton jour, ne me demandez pas l'heure. Et quand le soleil brille en toi, pour moi, je libère. Oh, I'm going man. Hey, moi je cherche les bébés de mon âme. Moi je cherche les bébés de mon âme. Moi je cherche les bébés de mon âme. je cherche les brevets de mon Crée ton âme et fabrique-toi ton cœur. Crée ton monde, l'univers du Katanga. Fais briller ton jour, ne me demandez pas l'heure. Et quand le soleil tourne en rond pour toi, ma jolie belle. Et moi je cherche les bébés qui ont porté l'âme de mon âme. Moi je cherche les bébés de mon âme. Thank you. And now again, this is our last song. The day has been long for me today, from yesterday to today. And I'm not going to give a long show today, but I will sing something which united us all in the world. Because that song is the song that Justin Perkins wanted to pinpoint here. We are the world. I know, I am aware of what happened to the songwriter of this song. I am aware of all. But what I love is the spirit of this song. the way that it's expressed and talking to me through me to other people. So I will share this last song with you tonight. You can celebrate like as you like, but we will be celebrating us because we are the world. I'm from a little village in the hinterland of Congo, but I have people everywhere, as you are, wherever you are. Do receive my love through this song. We are the world. Take out the chance, we will set to go. When the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, it's time to let it. The most greater gave me they can go on, changing day by day. That's somewhere Virginia we can change. We are all a part of God preparing. That's all we are right now. Pray, Lord, we are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a better day. So let's start giving. We say it out loud. It's to make it better. Just you and me. Strong and free. As God show us why Kennington is too great, and so we are now. We great love baby. We are the children. We are the ones that make it our day. So let's start giving. There's a choice to make it. We say it out loud. It's true, we can all take just you and me. There's nowhere we can go. Until we just believe there's nowhere we can fall. We are the children. We are the ones that make about our day. So let's start giving. There's a choice to make it. We're saving our lives. It's true, we'll make about our day. Just you and me. Yeah, come on. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make about our day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we make up. We save our lives. It's true we make about our day. Just you and me. Oh, we are the children. We are the ones that make about our day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we make up. looking for a chance, so you start giving. Just a chance to make it inside our life. It's true, thinking about our days. Just you and me. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I love you all.
that remember to Michael Jackson.
I love you all.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much for attending to my event. I am so grateful, and actually, me myself, because you are my star.
Oh, bravo!
Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
God. Yeah. We have a wood.
Leila.
She's not there.
Hi. That was beautiful.
All right. So we're done.
Awesome. Okay.
Hopefully you love that.
Yes, absolutely. Big claps.
I'm sorry again for my voice because it was a long day, actually. But
You sounded beautiful.
thank you.
All right. Thank you everyone so much for coming. Marius, from the bottom of my heart, and Ariel's, thank you for including us. Thank you for being you. You are something so special. It's hard to put into words.
Thank you.
It's an amazing album, and congratulations to you, and congratulations to everybody else involved.
Thank you.
I hope everyone has a really great weekend.
I would like to share all my grateful, my joy to all the people around the world, wherever you are, and people here. There's so many people around here who has been a gift us actually.
You deserve it.
I deserve that.
Yeah.
Zion TV from France, they are here, and it's been my honor to have you here as well.
It was an honor for us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
And all the friends around. Love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quelle bête de scène. Je vous aime.
We love you too.
Vous êtes incroyable.
We love you too.
Vous êtes incroyable. Hein?
Je viens de découvrir
Vous êtes incroyable.
une bête de scène.
Ah oui?
Ah oui.
Mon cher, ton microphone là.
Allez-y.
Okay. So, je pense que tous les auditeurs de Ziana qui sont restés avec nous ont pu découvrir vraiment ce magnifique artiste, Marius Billgobenson. Ceux qui le connaissaient, on a vu les commentaires, on dit que vraiment, ils trouvent que cet album, ils le suivaient depuis longtemps, mais c'est l'un des albums les plus touchants, qui donne vraiment des frissons, et on a vu un exemple palpable avec les chants qui ont été chantés, mais vraiment avec cette touche artistique au niveau des accords musicaux et tout ça, pour ceux qui connaissent vraiment, qui sont des puristes de la musique, mais ce mélange guitare, jazz, musique africaine également, hein, je pense que beaucoup ont pu se reconnaître. Il y a aussi
la polyphonie.
Exactement, parce qu'il a joué aussi l'air des... C'est ça.
Linguistique, culturelle.
Toute sonorité.
La sonorité.
Exactement. Avec, bien sûr, l'air des Pygmées. Ça, je pense que beaucoup ont beaucoup apprécié. Vous savez qu'il se bat beaucoup pour le maintien des Pygmées dans leur les peuples autochtones, effectivement, exactement,
voilà,
dans la forêt.
dans tous les reportages de Ziana TV, longuement toute cette partie.
En tout cas, je voulais quand même dire quelque chose de très important, ma chère Babli,
bien sûr.
La marquise de Vinza. Je viens de découvrir ce soir une bête de scène. C'est le Nirangongo de la musique congolaise actuelle, avec des laves de sons gutturaux qui ne laissent pas indifférent l'oreille exercée. On va dire que c'est un chef-d'œuvre. Je vous le recommande, chers amis téléspectateurs, d'acheter ce produit qui est de qualité. Et je ne serais pas étonné que demain, qu'il soit à Grammy Award, hein, c'est comme ça qu'on dit ça.
Justement, Grammy Award, parce que justement, vous avez vu toutes ces personnes, c'est vrai que c'était en anglais pour ceux qui ne maîtrisent pas l'anglais, mais en somme, c'était des personnes qui témoignaient de comment ils l'ont rencontré, comment ils ont découvert sa musique. Ce sont des Américains, ce sont des chaînes de radio américaines, ce sont des personnes qui travaillent dans les charts avec des grands auteurs de jazz. Donc, cet artiste africain, des grands noms de la chanson, étaient présents, donc qui ont reconnu ce talent et qui disent que cet album mérite vraiment cette place de numéro 1. Donc, c'est une fierté déjà pour notre continent, c'est une fierté pour le Congo, c'est une fierté pour l'Afrique d'avoir vraiment...
La Suède aussi.
La Suède.
Ouais.
On va pas oublier non plus qui nous a accueillis ici, d'avoir cet artiste qui fait vraiment un travail excellent et qui préserve vraiment nos valeurs et nos cultures africaines. Donc, c'est vraiment quelque chose à découvrir pour ceux qui ne le connaissent pas, et pour ceux qui le connaissent déjà, vraiment, précipitez-vous, allez acheter, allez sur les routes, écouter dans la voiture, à écouter à la maison, à écouter quand il pleut.
Les amoureux.
Les amoureux, exactement.
Les stressés,
exactement, ça va détendre.
C'est une musique qui détend.
Voilà, c'est
et puis
vraiment...
il nous a partagé tout son écosystème. Hein. On écoute Bill, on voyage avec lui. Hein.
Exactement.
On part des forêts au fin fond du Congo. On se retrouve ici en Scandinavie. Je pense que vous avez passé un agréable moment avec nous ce soir. C'était une exclusivité Ziana TV. On espère que ça va continuer, se reproduire.
Bien sûr.
L'expérience va se reproduire.
On espère l'avoir en concert à Paris.
Qui sait, parmi les téléspectateurs qui nous suivent ce soir, il y a des talents que nous allons découvrir d'ici là. Donc, qu'ils soient les bienvenus sur Ziana TV, la chaîne au cœur des diasporas.
Okay, so I would like to say that in English for English speaker that this artist, Marius Billgobenson, released this new album, and this album is a really great music. So you have to discover it, go run and go and buy this album, and you would want to regret it. And it was a pleasure for us to translate this show live from Stockholm. And I hope you truly appreciate it. And of course, we're going to show you more about this artist, about why he decided to make music, what is his passion, why he's fight for many things in Africa, and why he's defined himself as citizen of the world. So it's really someone you need to know, and we are truly happy to be the channel to introduce you this very great artist. Okay, so I hope you will be there for the next time when we're going to show you more things, more interview about this man. Keep in your mind one name, Marius Billgobenson, and it is one of the great of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pour terminer, nous sommes sur Ziana TV, au cœur de diaspora, comme je viens de le dire, mais nous avons quand même une signature, la mienne, que j'imprime. En l'arrêt, on dira Tata Billy Bakala Diakobi. Voilà.
En Côte d'Ivoire, on dirait vraiment, il le vaut bien. Et vraiment, venez acheter son album. C'est forcé. Venez.
Et moi, je dirais comme la nouvelle génération, ça déchire.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. À bientôt.
Merci de nous avoir accompagnés.
Et le boss arrive, Monsieur Makosso.